TheGamer's Eric Switzer got to sit down with Nicholas Kole, the artist behind many of the cards in Disney's Lorcana. So let's throw it over to Eric.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I've been wanting to meet
Absolutely.
you for a long time. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
I knew your work from Crash and Spyro originally, but obviously I'm a huge fan of Lorcana too. So just to start, can you kind of talk us through your career path leading up to Lorcana?
Sure, yeah. I started out in around 2009. I started in video games at a company called 38 Studios, which then flopped, and I wound up freelancing for about 10 years. And around early on there, I connected with Disney Publishing at New York Comic Con and wound up through a very strange series of events doing the Maleficent illustrations for the Curse of Maleficent book.
Okay.
Which showed back up when Shane and Matt, the art directors on Lorcana, reached out to me with a PDF full of references, and it contained all these Maleficent images, and I was like, I did those, you know?
That's
so that was really, really neat to see that come full circle. But yeah, freelancing across film, children's books, video games primarily, and then eventually now it's my first time in TCGs.
And so they found your work and said, we need a Maleficent artist. Here's one. And then contacted you?
I think so. I think they were just looking in general for an aesthetic that spoke to their desire to capture that sort of storybook, modern storybook is what we're calling it for the art direction. So they wanted to stand out, kind of respect the classic look and feel of the Disney characters, but also give it just a little bit of that spin that would be ownable for the brand.
Yeah. And I know that you kind of grew up as a fan of Crash and Spyro, right?
Oh, big time. Yeah.
What's your relationship with Disney?
Oh, deeper, if anything.
Deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not only like a huge Disney fan, but kind of a musical theater kid. And so the Disney musicals, the 2D ones, like they really were my childhood. Every time I get a new card, the songs just start to loop in my head. I have to rewatch it immediately, you know, so
Yeah,
big
that's
time.
cool. With these characters in Lorcana and with Crash and Spyro, you're working with like beloved characters and trying to put your own spin or bring them back in the case of Crash and Spyro. Can you talk about the concerns or considerations with approaching these characters that people have such strong ideas of who they are?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and because I'm one of those people as well, I get it on an emotional level. You know, you want to see something new. Nobody wants to see exactly the same art they've always seen again and again necessarily, but you want what you love about the character respected. And so I really handle these characters with as much care as I can. When I get Mickey Mouse, it's hard to stop, kind of overthinking it and feeling kind of nervous about it. But you know that there's so many fans and so many incredible artists, moreover, that have made their mark on the character over the years, and you want to do right by the work that's come before you as best you can.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have to sort of become a Mickey historian and just learn all about all the different versions, and does all of that come into play when you're doing your design?
To an extent, yeah. I mean, definitely there's a research phase every time and looking into, which version is my favorite or which version does Ravensburger or Disney feel is the right fit for this particular card. And we have a little conversation about that. But I actually have, there's a little sketch of Walt's when I think he was on a train of drawing Mickey after Oswald. The drama happened with Oswald, and so he drew Mickey for the first time on this little scrap of paper. And I have a print of that hanging in my office just as a reminder that these icons come out of a context somewhere.
Right.
And it's just really cool to see that being worked out by somebody loosely and just, in transit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So D23 was where we got our first look at the characters and cards, and there was 7, and half of them was your work. And Brave Little Taylor, it's on the card art. It's kind of a mascot for the game, but the fact that we saw just those 7 characters and half of them were yours, it kind of established, I think, for people the look of the game. Did you know that your work was going to be a representation for what the game was at the beginning?
I did, yeah. I think that when Shane originally reached out, it was with the caveat that they were really looking for somebody to establish the look and feel of what we were doing. And that mood board sort of set the tone for that. And then moving forward from there, creating characters I knew that we were doing illustrations that would be on the packaging.
Right.
So there's even special artistic considerations for making sure the poses read right and feel good for that. But I knew each time I was doing one, like, oh, I better nail it, because it's I knew it was going to be out at the front. Yeah. I had no idea Mickey would be the first and the sort of promo for D23 and be what it was, but I had some sense that there was an importance there. Yeah.
Cool. And then, so this is your first TCG.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about working on a TCG versus a game, or some of the other projects you've been on, what the differences are for you?
Yeah, sure. In animation or in books, like, narrative is king, and that kind of drives things. And I think in gaming, in general, gameplay is king, right? So you are always trying to serve a sense of the purpose that these are going to be used for. And as a collector myself, of other card games from my childhood, I was really excited to create cards that just felt in the hand like they were special. I know that feeling from cracking a pack and finding something you were looking for. So there's a consideration in the designs and the illustrations to make them really feel iconic and hit you with that kind of dopamine as quick as possible and have that sort of staying power as long as possible.
Yeah. Okay, the last thing I want to ask you, and I promise I won't read into it too much, but do you have some favorite characters that you'd like to draw from Disney?
Oh, yeah.
That we haven't seen yet?
Definitely. I mean, from Spyro, I love dragons. Right. So any dragon, I'm more than happy to take a crack at.
Okay.
Mickey's always an honor, so that's great.
Yeah.
Anytime I get to draw Mickey, I'm super hyped about that. Maleficent, Stitch, I'm a huge Stitch fan. And I'm actually like a huge Goofy movie fan as well. So I'm really like holding out for some Goofy movie cards eventually. Yeah.
The stars are aligning. When I interviewed Ryan recently, I had a Powerline shirt on.
Oh, awesome.
And I was pushing. So
I've got a few at home.
Together.
Absolutely, man. Team Goofy movie. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nicholas.
Dude, no, excellent. Great to meet you, Eric. Cheers.